feels really weird, but we're going for it. Today I am going to be doing a life update mixed with a short hair curling tutorial. Yuri is loving life. He's having so much fun. I'm gonna turn this bad boy on. This is a Revlon curling iron. It is probably 15, 20 years old. Swear to God, it was my mom. She gave it to me when I went away to college and still good as new, but it makes for perfect curls that will stay for 5 days. 4 products that I use that you will need if you want your curls to stay: a heat protectant, texturizing spray, dry shampoo, even if your hair's clean. I'm gonna do this one carefully. A styling treatment oil or some sort of oil to seal your hair. The cat ears out, which honestly I just kind of wish that I could wear all the time. Depends on how much hair you have. I have to split it up into like 6 sections. But I basically start at the way bottom, and this is where I have the shortest hair, which honestly it actually doesn't even need to be curled right now because it's actually okay, so I get to skip that one. All I do is I take my curling iron and I wrap my curls away from my face. I didn't add the heat protecting spray. I'm gonna do that now. I'm just gonna get in the groove here and then we'll chit chat. Real quick before oh my God, my thing is going to die. Why? I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to make YouTube videos if you can't have a charged camera or talk while you do things. I'm gonna chill with my hair like this, probably gonna take Yuri out, maybe have a snack, then I'll be back to finish my hair. Okay, we are back. It's 3 o'clock and the sun is starting to set in Chicago, so the lighting is very, very different from how we began. Heat my curling iron up again and get back into this video. Basically, 2019 was a shit show for me. I like to say it was the best year of my life, but also the absolute worst year of my life. And it all started in June when I lost my puppy Wally, and I do now have another little addition to my life, and very thankful for him. He is the best dog. I miss Wally dearly. I got him right here close to my heart, and I've got like things in every room of my apartment that like were his or remind me of him. But losing my dog was the absolute worst thing that could have ever happened. And I left Chicago. I lived at home for a short little while, and I came back, and I told this story on Instagram, but I came back and literally the day that I was here, I didn't want to go out. We were going to a festival and I had no desire to go out whatsoever. And I'm crying to my 2 best friends. I'm crying. It was literally like sitting right here. This is Elise's apartment, which I'm living in until the end of February. So it's like how I got back to Chicago. She moved to Vegas. I took over the rest of her lease. At that time in August, that day, I had basically decided that like Chicago was not for me. Oh God, the heat was on. It was probably so loud, whatever. I'm trying. I told myself I gotta make some YouTube videos before I'm allowed to sell my camera, just to kind of see if I want to get back into it, which I do. Deep down I do. That day, I didn't want to go to this festival that we had already had tickets for. All right, I can start doing this. We already had tickets for. I already didn't go the first 2 days of the festival because I was just like, you know, in a depressed state. And Elise made me go, and I met my boyfriend. So, like, things with him happened pretty fast, and now I live in Chicago. I don't know if I even told you guys how to curl the hair, which is annoying because it's supposed to be a hair curling tutorial, but, see, there we go. But I basically take a straight piece. We'll do a piece right up front. Take a straight section, okay? And I always, always, always curl away from my face. Take a section, okay? I'm right-handed, it's in my right hand. I point it down, I put it behind my hair, and then I wrap it away from my face. I always watch YouTube videos and I'm like, what do they mean by away from my face? Like, what's away from my face? And I finally got it. And then I hold it for a few seconds, I let it go, and we got ourselves a nice curl. I do that around my entire head, and in the back, I feel around and see what pieces I can like really tell are straight still. And then I actually will finish my whole head and then go back in, and it's easier to see the straight pieces after the rest of the hair is curled. The hardest thing about curling your hair is definitely the fact that it takes a while, but it's worth it for the 5 days of wear I get out of one curl. While I was waiting, I went a little bit more glam. I put lashes on and liner and then some more bronze, whatever. But what's a girl to do? Feel around, we got another little straight piece back here. We got several, I think. If you have a curling wand, it will work just the same. This is just a curling iron, and I just don't use the clampy part of it. Aside from, you know, moving back to Boston, not being sure I wanted to live in Chicago anymore, and then finally getting my place, I literally lived out of a suitcase for pretty much all of 2019. And I'll just tell you guys that I knew moving to a new city was going to be challenging. I didn't think it'd be this challenging, to be honest, but it's definitely the best decision that I ever made. I knew when I wanted Chicago to be my home that I was just gonna, you know, go for it. And I had some great friends. I kind of slept in Elise's bed with her for 6 months or I think it was 5 months. 5 months, finally got my own place, or I moved in with roommates, and then all the stuff with Wally happened. Moved back home, and now I'm here. And I just got my personal training cert because I want to be training people in the city one-on-one. So if you're in Chicago, if you live actually in Chicago, like in the city part of Chicago, I think a lot of people say they live in Chicago when they in fact live very far north, south, or west. Can't live east, that's the lake. I will be training people in Chicago, and I feel like this is a common question. I had my Group X cert before. I was never doing any in-person training, and we have personal trainers that always have written the programs for our clients, but now I am very much certified to do so, and I can't wait. Another update, I am in school. In January will be my 1-year anniversary of studying at Purdue Global University. So Purdue Global is an online school, and I have taken online classes from other schools, haven't liked them, so I was really nervous about how I was gonna like Purdue. And I will tell you that if you have any thoughts about going back to school and like that you want to do it online, or if you're scared to do it online, Purdue is the absolute greatest online schooling experience that I have ever experienced, and I really don't think that it could get much better than it is right now. Like, the professors are great, the systems are great, the schoolwork is a good amount of work, but they make it so manageable for you to succeed, and it's really affordable. I do have financial aid. I'm taking 2 classes per semester. Semesters are 10 weeks long. I figure I'll just tell you guys this. Actually, maybe I'll make another video. If you want me to talk about online schooling, I'll make another video about it. I'll probably just do it. You don't even have to tell me. I'm gonna do it anyway. Long story short, I should be finishing my undergrad in the next year, and I am going to be going straight into their accelerated master's program for psychology. So that's my jam right now. That is what's going on. And besides that, like, life is good. Moving was a disaster, and I guess I'll tell you guys about that. This is such a vlog. But basically, my brother got married in October, and my parents were telling me, don't move before your brother's wedding. Like, don't do it. And what did I do? The week before, I came out to stay with Corbin for a week so I could move. And it turned out to be a disaster, like they told me it would. I swallowed that one. I was like, okay, my fault, I get it. Shouldn't have done that. I ended up living with Corbin out of a suitcase at his place for 4 weeks. Supposed to be like 6 days. Was supposed to move into this place. Whole bunch of stuff happened with the building. There's just some issues that I feel like I could get in trouble for if I like release it on the internet. Obviously my long distance movers basically stole my stuff and the company shut down, and the only contact I had was a guy that didn't speak very good English very well. The movers cost me $2,200 for them to take my stuff out of a storage unit. It wasn't even that hard. Take my stuff out of a storage unit in Massachusetts and drive it to Chicago and deliver it. But that was much too hard for them to do. And I ended up having to get a storage unit for them to deliver it to, which they didn't show up for 2 different times. And they said that they were putting it in a warehouse out here in Chicago, but they wouldn't give me the location of the warehouse, and they also wouldn't let me go get it myself. Finally, the only thing that I could do was pray that they would show up to the storage unit that I ended up getting the first time, which they didn't show up to then hire a second set of movers. So this move out here, you know, set me back about $3,600. So like I said, I'm all for moving. I encourage you to spread your wings and fly and whatever. What I don't suggest you do is hire a moving company. Do it yourself, rent a U-Haul, maybe hire movers to get the stuff, you know, out the house into the U-Haul, but drive the U-Haul yourself, or sell all your stuff and start over when you get to your destination, because it was a disaster. Not only did I have to pay for all these movers and stuff, none of my stuff, oh, that's not true. The movers didn't damage any of my stuff, but the day I moved in, I unpacked everything, and the last thing that I did, it was like 8 o'clock at night. The last thing I did was unpack my bed. And guess what happened to my bed? Water must have gotten all over it from the storage unit, which was supposed to be temperature controlled. There was water damage, clearly, which I didn't see until I unwrapped my bed and saw a disgusting amount of mold. So not only did I have to buy a new bed, I had to buy a new bed frame because I decided to get a queen size bed. I had a full size bed. And oh yeah, and around my face, I don't go as high up to my temple, and I kind of like brush it. Like, I don't hold it as long, and I kind of like shimmy it down like I just did, so they're not as like wild. Here is gonna be like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I ended up having to buy a new bed and a bed frame, which, you know, I'm happy about because I was thinking I wanted to get a new bed, but it still was an unexpected expense. You know, the whole thing about moving and all of this stuff is that you are literally going to have to expect for things to go wrong, and it's gonna always be about like how you handle it, how you compose yourself. But I was filled with stress for about 4 weeks. It was a new relationship. Corbin and I basically went from being long distance for like 2 months, all of August and all of September. And we did take a couple trips together, and I did see him quite a bit because I was out here a bit, and you know, he came out towards me. But we basically went from being long distance to living together, and we handled it really well. But I will say, like, that's a tough thing to do. I wouldn't advise it, but honestly, I mean, I do think that all of that stuff kind of just brought us closer and yada yada, all that stuff. We are almost done. Couple more pieces. I also don't actually pick my part. I know that some people have very specific parts. I do not. My hair kind of flips every which way, or I style it in the middle. All right, so I did go through and I checked on any pieces that may have been straight, and then I parted it to the side right here. The fresh curls, I've done nothing else to them other than curl it. So I am gonna go in and use some hairspray. You can use a texturizing spray, and I like to kind of get in here and get them all, get the ones underneath. Okay, and then, what? First do it, you're gonna be like, this curly of hair is like, I mean, it's pretty big and aggressive. If I didn't have the volume that I have right now. I would go in with dry shampoo and like do the roots, but I clearly do not need that right now. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brush them out. And that's the scariest part because you never know what's really gonna happen when you brush them out. All right, so normally this is when I would go in with the styling treatment oil, which I guess I can do. I guess I'll just do it. My hair right now is quite shiny and curly. Then go in and kind of like retwist any of the curls that you've done and smooth out ones that you don't like.
Switch the part. I want to part it down the middle.
Oh, I just touched the curling iron. And this guy, not really sure where he wants to go. But here we have it. Short hair, curly hair tutorial. And probably would look even better if I didn't have this hoodie on. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what other videos you want to see from me. I got this 5-video challenge going on. 4 more videos to go. Then I'm allowed to sell my camera if I feel so inclined. Bye!